In southeastern Turkey, on a limestone ridge overlooking the Heron Plain, there's a site that shouldn't exist where it does in the timeline. It was built more than 11,000 years ago, before farming, before pottery, before permanent settlements, and yet it consists of massive stone pillars, precise carvings, and carefully planned enclosures. Göbekli Tepe doesn't contradict archaeology, but it does force us to look closely at assumptions we rarely question. Welcome to the Evidence Gap. Göbekli Tepe was first identified in the 60s, but serious excavation didn't begin until the mid-90s under archaeologist Klaus Schmidt. You may have heard of him. Radiocarbon dating places its earliest construction at approximately 9600 BCE, during the Pre-Pottery Neolithic period. Now, this time, there's no evidence of agriculture in the region. No domesticated animals, no metal tools, no pottery, obviously. But the site consists of multiple circular and oval enclosures, each built from carved limestone pillars arranged around, central monoliths. Now, some of these pillars stand over 5 meters tall and weigh 10 to 20 tons. They were quarried locally, shaped with stone tools, transported and erected with remarkable consistency. Now, the pillars themselves aren't crude. Many are T-shaped with carved arms, hands, belts, and loincloths, strongly suggesting they represent stylized human figures. Even the surfaces are decorated with high-relief carvings, like lions, foxes, snakes, wild boar, birds, and insects. These aren't just random decorations, though. The imagery repeats across enclosures and it follows recognizable patterns. But importantly, Göbekli, gotta get this right, Göbekli Tepe shows no evidence of daily domestic life. That's what's interesting. There's no cooking hearths, no storage pits, no living structures. This suggests that the site wasn't a village, but a place people traveled to, likely seasonally for a specific purpose. Now, monumental construction typically appears after societies adopt agriculture. Farming creates food surplus, surplus supports specialists, right? Specialists allow large projects. Göbekli Tepe reverses that sequence. So here we see coordinated labor, long-term planning, skilled craftsmanship, and all before farming is firmly established. So that raises a serious question. What social structures allowed, hunter-gatherers to organize work on this scale? Does it make sense? One idea is that, shared ritual and belief may have preceded agriculture, not followed it. So, in other words, people may have come together first for meaning and only later reorganized their lives around food production. But there's one detail that rarely gets enough attention. This is what's cool. After centuries of use, Göbekli Tepe was deliberately buried. Isn't that interesting? The enclosures were carefully filled with rubble, stone, soil. It wasn't abandoned, not collapsed, but intentionally covered. Now, this is cool. This preserved the site in extraordinary condition. But why bury something, that required so much effort to build? We don't know. But intentional burial suggests a cultural decision. Not decline, not disaster, but closure. Göbekli Tepe, it doesn't require lost civilizations, advanced technology or external intervention to be impressive. The people who built it were human. What challenges us is not who they were, but how early they organized themselves in ways, we didn't expect. Göbekli Tepe doesn't rewrite history, it tightens it. It reminds us that culture, cooperation, and belief may have deep roots, deeper than our older models assume. The gap here isn't a mystery waiting for an answer. It's a reminder that timelines are hypotheses, and sometimes the evidence asks us to adjust them. I'll see you next time in the evidence gap.